Hunters that are competing here this weekend. They're going to move the ball a little bit, keep score, and we're going to really see some talent on the field.
We'll hear from Chris Saylor and Chris Rubio, who helped select the 6 specialists that'll be in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl in just a little bit, plus hear from one of those in Tommy Townsend. But this has been a fantastic weekend, as it always has. Second year in Dublin, movie premiere last night. You've got the classroom, the leadership, the skill. It's all come full circle.
It is, and it's a bittersweet ending to a great FBU season. We started our camps, our 33 camp tour in April. We're now come to fruition here at the high school Top Gun. We got the middle school coming in on Monday, give us a good day for our coaches to rest, and we're back at it again. And our next event for the high school kids is in San Antonio for Bowl Week. There's going to be a bunch of kids that are going to be vying for U.S. Army National Combine invites today, and some of the East Bay All-American invites, as well as a couple U.S. Army National All-American Bowl invites as well.
Yeah, we're looking to see who might be that diamond in the rough going forward. We already have commits for the 2015 U.S. Army All-American Bowl, 2016, 2017. Those classes have been very impressive as well. One of those youngsters that'll play in the 2015 game is Tommy Townsend, the number 2 punter in the country, ranked by 24/7 Sports. Had a chance to talk with him upon his selection yesterday.
A pretty good summer for the nation's number 2 punter, ranked by 24/7 Sports. That's Tommy Townsend out of Orlando, Florida. Committed to Tennessee about a month ago, and today named a U.S. Army All-American, like his brother 2 years ago. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's an honor.
First Top Gun for you. What's the FBU experience been like?
So far, I guess it's been great. A little shaky in the morning, but I don't know, I always come out great at the end, so I guess that's what happened, and turned out well for me.
Well, you had this competition about 10-15 minutes ago. Your peers rattling you. You boom one into the end zone about 50 yards.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I don't know, just when people try and put pressure on me, I just try and like zone it out, just take a deep breath, you know, just I know what I can do, just go through the stuff in my head, just easy steps, and just do it, just kick it.
Multiple positions in high school, but I asked you why you wanted to kick. Primarily, the first thing you said was your brother.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the relationship.
Well, I'd say our relationship has actually grown, I guess, since he's even gone to college. I don't know, it feels like we talk a lot more, but I feel like he was definitely the one that got me into punting. It all started off, I guess, at the end of sophomore year, beginning of junior year. Just started going out with him, going to the local coaches, working on it, and that's how it all started.
Well, you grew up a Florida fan.
Yes, sir.
He's at Florida. What was the transition like to say, I'm going to be playing at Tennessee?
I don't know. I guess when I just started punting, I just had to drop all ideas of being a Florida fan and just accept that I'm probably going to go somewhere else, and I guess that's what I did. Glad to stay in the SEC, but Rocky Top's a great place, so.
Chris Rubio, Chris Saylor, they're kicking experts. What have you learned from them here?
You know, I've learned a lot from them. Just they've really helped me with like relaxing, helped me a lot with my drop, and that, you know, that's the main thing when it comes to punting. So they've definitely helped me with the bigger parts of it.
And I'm sure you're looking forward to San Antonio in January. That's going to be a pretty nice accolade for you.
It's exciting, very exciting.
Well, then we end on Rocky Top. All the best to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Tommy Townsend,
I appreciate it.
Number 2 punter, ranked by 24/7 Sports, Tennessee commit, and the newest U.S. Army All-American.
One hand.
Chop.
One
chop,
hand.
Go Bruins.
Chop. One hand.
Chop. Chop.
Great snap.
Chop. Chop. Oh, Rocky Top. Let's go. Go. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Rocky Top, baby! Rocky Top!
Well, the Tennessee commit, Tommy Townsend, enjoying life with his peers and selected the U.S. Army All-American Bowl through Chris Saylor and Chris Rubio partnership of selecting the kickers and long snappers here at FBU Top Gun. As you can see, we are underway in the 7-on-7s. Sticking to the north end of the stadium. Game goes on a 20-minute running clock. We have officials, a 25-second play clock. As the action starts from the 35-yard line, and then you've got 3 plays to pick up 20 yards, and then 3 plays to score from inside the 15. TDs are 2 points, INTs 1 point, and the new addition, the kickers, working their way in, and we've got Chris Rubio and Chris Saylor. Gentlemen, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
It's my pleasure.
Let's talk about the partnership here. For the first time, you guys helped select the long snappers, the kickers, the punters. We've done that over the last 24 hours, and some kids, some parents that are delighted, but it's a good process. It's a nice selection to see that come to fruition here with the competitions you've had all weekend long.
Yeah, you know, it's just a great opportunity for us. This is the best all-star game in the country. We do what we do at the highest level across the country. We see the most kickers, punters, and snappers, and putting those top players in this game was a priority of ours, and it's been an awesome experience so far.
Chris, I'll start with you, the kicker, Chris, and then we'll work our way down to the long snappers. Kevin Robledo, Rodrigo Blankenship. I've been watching this kid ever since he was an East Bay Youth All-American, and it's got to be nice to see him come full circle all the way to the U.S. Army Bowl. Those are the East and West representatives, respectively. What can you tell us about each kicker?
Yeah, we'll start with Rodrigo. Just an incredible leg. I mean, the kid's got as strong as legs as anyone in the country. He's also a gamer. I mean, the kid makes kicks under pressure. He proved it all weekend here. And his kickoffs are outstanding. I mean, you couldn't go wrong with the selection. He's going to be a great player in the All-Star game. He'll also be a great player in college, so I'm very excited about him. Kevin Robledo is a kid out of California. Again, his name's not quite as big as Rodrigo's yet, but believe me, you're going to hear about him. He's had a tremendous high school career. He's put together, I think, 30-plus field goals in his 2 seasons kicking for varsity. Had a great weekend, and again, great selection for the West.
Already heard from Tommy Townsend, but Blake Johnson is a member of the other punter duo out of the West. As we have a score, and we'll have an extra point try, but these punters, Tommy Townsend, his brother, kicks at Florida. He had the tough decision to go to Tennessee, but seems to have a good head on his shoulders and won the skills competition yesterday.
Yeah, Tommy's just an unbelievable prospect. He's got so much going for him. Great athlete, huge upside, and really his consistency is coming along nicely. So again, he's a top national prospect. By all means, very, very deserving of the position. With Blake Johnson out of California, we've coached Blake since 8th grade. Seen him grow, seen him develop. The kid's, again, a tremendous athlete, which you're looking for at the punting position, and stepped up. I mean, if you watch the finals today, I mean, he hit, I think, 6 balls in a row over 45 yards, and very close or near to 5-second hang time. So, again, those guys will battle it out in the game, and both teams have great players.
Chris Rubio, a long snapper at UCLA. You guys both from the Sons of Westwood. Liam McCullough, why cannot we have a Buckeye here? There's future Ohio State commit here in Central Ohio. Blake Ferguson wants to go to LSU and is verbally committed there. Tell us a little bit about the long snappers, Chris.
Yeah, I'll start with Blake Ferguson, who will be representing the East. Blake's out of Georgia. He's a LSU commit. He was actually the youngest long snapper ever offered a full scholarship back between his sophomore and junior year and during the summer. Absolutely phenomenal form, very smooth, consistent, and he's been with us since about 7th grade. And then you've got Liam McCullough, who's actually snapping the ball right now. Great snap right there. He will be headed into the Ohio State. He actually had 4 long snapping full scholarship offers: Michigan State, Kentucky, Ohio State, and I can't remember the last one was. But he had 4 scholarship offers, which is impressive for anyone, let alone a long snapper.
Well, you guys have been partners for longer than just this FBU collaboration. So tell us a little bit how that got started. I know you guys have known each other for a long time, but snappers and kickers go hand in hand. So tell us about the genesis of your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Rubio was my long snapper at UCLA, and I was the kicker. He got there 2 years before me and kind of held down the fort. But then when I came in, we became great friends off the field, and obviously on the field we gelled. I was able to have an All-American season with Chris Rubio snapping to me. So that was the start of it. And then obviously as I got into this as a career, I needed someone to come out and work with the snappers. With Rubio, it's not just about the ability to coach snapping. He's also got a great personality. He was a teacher, knows a lot about education, and we've been going together now for nearly 15 years, teaching kickers, punters, and long snappers.
Yeah, it seemed like a perfect fit. I always joke that Saylor seated my butt more than anyone in the world because I was snapping to him so often and so long. And, it's just grown from our first Vegas camp having, I think, 35 total kids or something like that to this last time it had 600. So it's one of those that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, there is no lonesome kicker here at Top Gun, and I was talking with several of the scouts, and they were mentioning from back to front in terms of consistent depth, that's probably one of the highest ranked positions here at Top Gun.
Yeah, like I said, with this partnership, we wanted to make sure we got the best athletes here. This is the first year they put a lot of focus, obviously, to the kicking, punting, and long snapping position. So we made sure we brought in the talent. Like I said, I think on the kicking and punting side of things, you're going to see about 15 of these kids go on full scholarship to major Division I programs.
Football University's Top Gun 2014. This is session 5, the 7-on-7s, a little friendly competition. We've added the kickers to this session. What has impressed you the most being out here? I mean, what has maybe caught your eye that you maybe weren't expecting from some of the sessions in the past or some of the camps you've been involved in prior to being part of Top Gun?
I would just say the magnitude of the entire camp. I mean, it's basically controlled chaos, but it's so impressive when you look around and you see 800 athletes out here, and they're all top tier kids, and the level of talent from top to bottom is just amazing.
Well, who controls the partnership here? That's what I want to know.
It's an equal partnership. We both have our strengths and our weaknesses, and we know how to play each other off that way.
Yeah, there's no laces out type rivalry or feud. I would hope not. But as we watch, who are we gonna see here lace it up?
You got Alexander Wozniak out of Georgia there. He's an underclassman. He's attempted a deep kick there. Fell a little short, but it was a 50-yarder. But he's a very good player as well. Did a great job this weekend.
Anyone net anything from 50 yards out this weekend?
Oh, how many? I mean, which one do you want? Yeah, I mean, guys hit from 50, 55. I mean, like I said, I think that 80% of our guys that were here could hit from 50. So, I mean, it was impressive when you have 50 kickers out there and 40 of them can make from 50. That was awesome. So, yeah, by all means, those guys can hit from deep. And I think the deepest kick of the weekend was Rodrigo Blankenship. He put one through from about 58.
The need for specialists. Maybe in the past you'd see a universal code of guys who played tight end or linebacker or receiver doing the kicking duties, but we've seen this in the last couple of decades, just the focus to hone in and work as a specialist, a kicker, a punter, a long snapper. Have you felt that that's grown in numbers as you've been doing this?
I mean, you have no idea. That's why we actually started the business, was to get more notoriety for the kickers. These guys do a great job. The punters do a great job. And when I came out of high school, I think 3 to 4 guys actually got scholarships. So I started it to make sure that these athletes, the top athletes, get just as many scholarships. And I think this past year between Rubio and I, we had well over 50 at the 2 positions, kicking, punting, and long snapping.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, if you preferred walk-ons as well, we had over 250 kids, which is amazing. Just for kickers and long snappers combined, it's just the domination of Chris Saylor kicking and Rubio long snapping. Then you combine it with FBU and the Army All-American game. It's just a perfect collaboration.
Chris Rubio, Chris Saylor, our guests here during Top Gun's final session of the weekend here in Dublin, Ohio. What techniques are you guys, I guess, honing, you would say? You've had your experience at the college level, you've dabbled in the professional ranks, but how are you trying to improve as instructors after having doing it for so long?
Yeah, one of the things I always say is, being a great player doesn't make you a great coach. There's so much you have to learn and experience to be able to teach young players. With each year, I said, having coached for 15 years, you learn a little bit more. So for us, we'll work with well over 1,000 kids, per year at a kicking position only. And you watch these kids and see what they're doing right and wrong. We're working with thousands of high school, college kids as well. And this year we have 26 current kickers in the NFL. So, I mean, the reality is we watch what these guys do. We watch what they do in common, what the best in the world do in common, and make them successful. And we teach those core techniques to our young players.
Deion Kane had the reception there as the offense taking it inside the 10. Now that camp season is winding down, what's the next process? I know kids will be getting ready for the start of the fall, but is there individual instruction that you work on throughout the year?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We both offer private lessons in our home areas. I'm up in northern Idaho and Sailor's in southern California, and we have a couple camps coming up to finish up July, and then we start right back up in September. We hit New York, Chicago, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, and then our big January Vegas event. What'll be January 17th and 18th.
Well, now you've got some All-Americans, too, to keep an eye on in San Antonio, and I'm sure we'll see you down there to check out the work of Kevin Robledo, Rodrigo Blankenship, Tommy Townsend, Blake Johnson, Liam McCullough, and Blake Ferguson. It's ChrisSaylorKicking.com. Rubio long snapping is also included on the site if you're interested. Gentlemen, pleasure getting to know you. Thanks for spending a little time with us here.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
All the best. As we'll continue on.
Whatever if you need anything, let us know.
Top Gun 2014, the offense in this 7-on-7. We're seeing some of the top offensive weapons in the country and defensive backs.
getting the reps. Again, the rules. We're playing a 20-minute running clock. And you've got 25 seconds on the play clock. And posing threat to the receivers of Kane and Benjamin on the near side.
Good.
And that's Kane who reels it in for the score. And right on cue, Geiska Crowley of Exos, who's been great in helping us bring you the coverage on 24/7 Sports, rejoins us.
It's good to be here, Neil.
So another fine play by Deon Kane. He's made a few. He's made several all weekend.
He really has. You know, he's like we said earlier, he's a real long athlete. Good hands, catches it away from his body. He's able to make some plays after the catch. He is a Tampa prospect out of Tampa Tech High School. Kind of got a little Sammy Watkins feel if you're a Clemson or Buffalo Bills fan. One of the tall, long striding players that can make plays in the red zone, can make plays with the ball in the air, and can make plays with the ball in his hands.
So after the score, the conversion good. The biggest question, guys, were you keeping tally of the score away from the action?
We're trying to get it all, Neil. You know,
Yeah,
we're trying to get
I'm only kidding and teasing,
the score. You know, we're looking at prospects. We've got over 12 Exos digital scouts here this weekend, trying to take a look at the highly rated All-Americans and also some of the players that are might be a little under the radar.
Well, at the end, that's irrelevant. We'll have the selection of the 5 best players by position in the closing ceremonies. That'll come after this. This is the final event on the field of the camp. This is Ellis from Florida, the quarterback. Too tall. As it falls incomplete.
These are the situations, Neil, that are really going to test the quarterbacks. You know, like we said earlier, they did the 2-over-2 drill, but this is a full field 7-on-7. You know, you got the music blaring, you got all the coaches on the field, you got all the players on the field.
Parents in the stands.
Parents in the stands. Much higher intensity. It's much more of a game-like environment. So it's going to really test the kids, and you can see which kids are going to step up. You know, when it's all on the line, and that's this last practice session. That's what we're at right now.
Tight window to complete that pass down the middle. It falls incomplete. Stephen Bridget, the quarterback from Denver, Colorado.
Looks like we got some of the young holders and kickers going on the field. Like you spoke with Chris Rubio and Chris Saylor earlier. We're lucky enough to watch the final competitions, you know, the kickoff and the snap-off, if you will, for the Army spots. It was a high intensity, you know, lots of huge kicks by a ton of talented players.
What a kick. "51 yards and good." Now we just heard from the tutelage of Chris Saylor and Chris Rubio. You were just alluding to that. Great partnership, and they've picked the 6 best specialists for the U.S. Army All-American Bowl.
So a couple players to look out here on our field, Neil. At the bottom, you got Deon Kane, number 3. On the inside slot, you got Victor from Coconut Creek and a young freshman quarterback from Greater Atlanta Christian down outside of Atlanta.
Now this is Davis Mills, and he'll take the otherneath.
That's DeVell Carr. He's a Maryland prospect. One of my favorites from the weekend. I got to spend a little time with him after the last practice. A great young man. He's a little shorter, you know, he's on the shorter side, but he definitely packs a punch. Good, strong prospect, good in the open field, nice, solid hands. He's done a great job this weekend.
He's one of the first kids you brought up when we were talking before our stream here this afternoon. James Morgan from Green Bay, Wisconsin. He's got a lot of offers already. And his pass a little bit off target.
He is a Bowling Green commit from, we talked in our personnel meeting, good, tall, young, long quarterback prospect. Definitely has some big-time upside. And, you know, the MAC are known for points. The MAC are known for quarterbacks, you know, so if that commitment sticks, he's definitely going to be one to watch out for. prospect we talked about a lot is here at tight end with his hand on the ground is a 2015 Jack Tellick. He's a big, tall kid. He's got long arms. Nice reception over there on a little option route from the tight end. It's rare to see with their hands on the ground nowadays, but you can have one. It definitely gives you an advantage in the run game, gives you an advantage in the pass game, and you can dictate some personnel things when they go 11 on 11.
We've completed the first 20 minutes. There'll be a small rotation winding down here. This is the 5th and final session at Top Gun. Even have the officials out here to make it as realistic as possible. Now it gets to a point, too, when the camp season winds down. These kids are getting to the breaking point of wanting to put the pads on and line up for real, which we're just a few short weeks away from doing so.
And we are. You know, the camp circuit is great. You know, big win, looks like, from the celebration by the Orange offensive team. But yeah, absolutely. You know, this is a great situation. You can get a ton of prospects to get a lot of looks that they may not get for their high school teams. But they've had some of the best coaching in the country by a bunch of former NFL players. FBU does a great job bringing in the mentors to hopefully translate it to Friday nights.
Well, speaking of a catalog of work and access to players in their games, that's the meat and potatoes of Exos Digital and what you guys provide. And you were showing me that. And it's quite fascinating. It's organized very succinctly, and you got your pick of the litter for any prospect you might want to look at with their game film.
Absolutely. You know, we try to the way we look at it is everybody loves TV on demand, so why not bring them players on demand? And you know, that's our Exos website is www.playerondemand.com. It's a website that coaches can log into, Division I all the way down to the D3 and JUCO NAIA level. Any prospects that are interested in filling out a survey, completely free to high school coaches, high school prospects as well, so they can do that at playerondemand.com.
We'll rotate the fields. Players will shuffle around. They're initially placed on teams ranked A, B, and C, and they can shuffle throughout those 3 units during the 36 hours of football or so that they've been involved in. And we're seeing the A's and the B's on this field as the day is winding down.
The key here, Neil, is in a 7-on-7 situation, usually the nod goes to the team with the best quarterback. The team that can make the best decision, make a quick decision. They do have a sack clock. 4 or 5 seconds, you know, depending the rules. But so the quarterback to make a good, quick decision, and if you've got a big, tall receiver that can go up and get it, that usually gives you the advantage in these 7-on-7 situations.
Brand new field turf at Kelt Stadium. Dublin Jerome High School was built in 2005. So very fresh facilities here in Central Ohio.
It's been a great location. You know, we've had all the prospects afterwards go into the meeting rooms and the coaches' offices. The coaches will break down the film from earlier in the day. A great teaching tool for the prospects, and Dublin Jerome has done a great job hosting us, and we are appreciative.
I'm ready to play. We're going to
It's a big-time prospect down here, Neil, on the bottom of your screen. Mullins from Coconut Creek, we spoke to a bunch in early broadcasts. He's in a jam man-to-man situation. Good trail technique, and a good job there by the bottom corner, Mullen from Florida.
take a look at the south end of the field, and that's a fine catch for the touchdown from 35 yards out. Looked like it was Jordan Bartlett
from Queen Creek, Arizona, who brought it in.
It was a nice throw over the middle. You know, in these 7-on-7 situations, sometimes it's interesting to see when the linebackers bring a little pressure, make sure the quarterback can move his feet, keep his eye downfield, keep good proper footwork, and deliver the throw.
The pass complete to the flat. Jason Dollar with the reception.
Got a bunch of prospects running in, Neil, and that's what's great here about these FBU camps is you get a ton of players. It makes it tough on you trying to find the names and the numbers.
I want to know how you keep track of them all.
But it's great. Like I said, it's all about the kids. It's all about the kids getting exposure. There's another one we found this weekend that's been a really solid prospect. He's number 283. He's a big, tall wide receiver, Alex James. It's definitely caught our eye from the Exos team. It's fun to watch the kids, in the huddle trying to sneak on the field. Some of the coaches are trying to keep them as organized as they can. But you can see 364, down there in the red jersey, Cam Akers, trying to work his way on for another rep.
Cam Akers has been very good in the action we've seen him. Pass for Dollar is incomplete. Now he's itching to get back out there and get his rep.
He is. He's a prospect from Mississippi, young guy, 2016, I believe. 2017, excuse me. Does a great job in the open field. Well put together prospect. Again, he's does a great job with the ball in his hands, and he's definitely has a bright future.
He'll come out of the backfield here.
On the wheel route.
And there's the flag. We knew we'd see at least one. Cam Akers is just a bull of an individual coming down that sideline. Tough to defend.
He is. A little bit light on the contact there. I probably would have kept it in my pocket, but it's a good throw by the quarterback. Give Akers a chance to get it.
That was Ashton Anderson playing quarterback on that sequence. Some of those first-team defenders down at this end. The last series we saw Malik Young out of Coconut Creek. He's member of the 2016 class. That's a great reception. Or is it? They roll it incomplete at the 10. Well, the work doesn't stop for you guys after the camp here today. You'll stick around into next week. We'll have the youngsters, the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders coming in for the second session of FBU Top Gun. And got to start earlier and earlier, as we were talking about, with keeping your eye on those prospects.
For sure. It's, the FBU was a great partnership of ours, so we're going to get a look at some of the young guys, which is good. A lot of the upcoming 8th graders, and even younger than that. That's a little bit more of a in those situations, for the high school kids, it's more about, finalizing and honing your technique and your skills. With the young guys, it's more about truly building them. So that'll be fun to see early into next week.
Jackie Smith, the quarterback from Bloomington, Indiana, with that pass that was a tough window to fit in.
You're going to see a lot of man-to-man in these situations. without the threat of the run, without the threat of the option. Defenses can be a little more pass conscious, and you'll see a lot of man-to-man, a lot of too high safety. So it's going to be a lot of tight windows for quarterbacks to fit it in. I think it's position number 4 for Cam Akers. Their slot receiver to the top side. He's been on the outside. He's been in the slot. He's been in the running back. He has got some good versatility.
That's delivered to Akers down that seam.
That's a prospect that Jeff Martin, our Southeast regional coordinator, knows real well. Jacob Wright goes to McClay School in Tallahassee.
Kamal Key. Big imposing individual wearing 363 back there.
He's one of our favorite prospects we've seen this weekend. Like I say, he's a big guy. Likes to get the ball in his hands. He's playing running back right now, kind of a big fullback, getting down into the flats. He's wide open.
Here's the quarterback, Anderson. He delivers. Good route. And a score for the offense here at the south end of the field, and then the celebration.
That was about a 4 or 5 inch vertical on the big chest bump right there.
4 or 5 inch vertical on the tonnage of a barge. Just a bowling ball of a man, but he's having fun, and all these campers really have had a fantastic experience. Getting that college level instruction.
Nice solid throw right there by Pat Mullins, a quarterback actually from Nova Scotia. We were talking about earlier, a little bit of the international feel. He made his way down. Nice solid throw.
Jason Dollar caught it. That's Jonathan Jethro, the receiver on the far side there for the short gain. Quick reps and wholesale substitutions, so you're going to get to see a lot of players.
And that's what it's all about. You want, and the day of spread football and the day of no huddle offenses, the kids are used to this. Honestly, if you told them to huddle up in the proper formation, I'm not sure they would know how.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's good. Like you said, it's fast pace. Music's blaring, having a great time, getting a lot of reps. A lot of great teaching by the NFL coaches that are here and honing the skills. That's what it's all about.
It's the creed of Football University. This is Top Gun 2014, 5th and final session of the high school edition. Close to 700 of the nation's top prep stars. Some have commitments, some are locked into the U.S. Army All-American Bowl, others making a name for themselves. And that kick is up and good from 40.
Was a bunch of good kickers, snappers, and holders we were watching earlier. Like you said, the guests you had on earlier, Chris Rubio, Chris Saylor, really do a great job. Akers with the wheel route.
And you can tell they're always looking for him. They found him. Down to the 1. That's a 34-yard pickup. You'd think they'd know that play by now.
Absolutely. With the amount of man-to-man you get, though, the wheel route from the running back in the backfield is a man beater, as they call it. He fakes into the flats. You're going to have the defender jump that flat route. He's going to finish the wheel. Nice bucket throw, as they call it. Good job by the quarterback. Great catch by Akers.
Of course, with the offense being the focal point, we should give some guys defensively their just due, because there are a lot of good defensive backs and linebacking prospects here in the classes.
There are a lot of good young guys, some of the premier 2015 prospects. Nick Connor is a local guy here in Dublin. He's an Ohio State commitment, phenomenal linebacker prospect, plays on the inside, plays on the outside. He's kind of a throwback old school tackling machine, you know, which it'll be a great addition to Urban Meyer and the Big Ten.
Goal line situation here. And it's caught for the score.
Like you said, it's tough on the defense. You know, it's with no quarterback, or excuse me, no pass rush. Obviously, the quarterback has a clean pocket, is able to move his feet. It's going to be a tough assignment, but they're competing in the end zone. The corners, a lot of man-to-man, a lot of jam coverage. It's going to be tough on them, but the kids love it. You know, the kids love man-to-man. They love playing in kids' faces. They love getting lots of reps. They love competing, and that's what they're doing here today.
Well, there is the big man. And it is caught. By Key.
It was a great stop by Sam Weaver, defensive back out of Pennsylvania. Like you were saying, focus on the defenders. He did a great stop right there on the probably half-yard line or so, keeping him out.
And the point after is good. Blake Ferguson doing the snapping there. He's the LSU commit. One of the 6 specialists picked over the last couple of days to be a 2015 U.S. Army All-American, which is the genesis of how all of this great stuff got started if you're a football fan. From that game on down to this camp and everything in between.
Good job right there by Najee Davis. This is a 2015 North Carolina defensive back. Had a little collision with the safety. It was in that two-deep coverage like we spoke to earlier. Did a good job. He's back up again and he's ready to cover another route.
And that was dropped.
Good job there by the linebackers underneath 171. Joseph Cosenza from Oaklawn, Illinois, the 2015 prospect.
That ball over the top. Falls incomplete.
That was Najee Davis again. He's getting up a little slow. He did a good job staying in the hip pocket of the wide receiver. Good position. Keeping his eyes on the ball, and good job breaking up the pass.
Winding down this session. Not as long as our earlier show from the first part of the day. We'll have the closing ceremonies right here in the grandstands. And this effort from 50 is shy. Malik Young wants to have a little fun.
Nice coverage sack right there by the defense.
Yeah, you have 4.5 seconds to throw, and they took too long.
It's tough on the quarterbacks. You know, everyone obviously puts a lot of pressure on them to make the right decision, to keep their footwork correct, you know, to keep the ball placement, good elbow placement. But in this situation with no running game, it's a lot on the quarterbacks. It puts a lot of pressure on them, and definitely difficult to play that position.
What a catch. For the score, it's Andrew Martinez Perkins from Cypress, Texas with the fine grab.
Did a great job down the middle of the seam. Like we said, good decision making by the quarterback. He sees the two safeties split to the hashes in the cover 2 look. You hit him right down the seam from the slot receiver. Great throw, great catch.
Well, the point after is successful. They've split these into 20 minutes, and we're in the final 5 of the latest grouping here. Geiska Crowley joining us. He's with Exos, Midwest Scouting Director. Has had his eye on all these kids throughout the weekend.
It's another grabs by Alex. He's a big, tall, wide receiver. Like we said, we've mentioned his name a couple times, Alex James. He's definitely what the new wide receiver looks like. He's tall, he's lean, he's long, can make the plays on the outside. He's doing a really, really good job. Someone that we have been speaking a lot about in our personnel meetings, and he's done a great job.
Beauty of it for these kids, if you come out and everyone's human, you may have a bad session, you can come back and respond. You'll get the instruction in the classroom. There's been a lot of film study this week, and you can atone for what you may think was a mistake and make up for it.
You're right, Neil. There's a lot of great players here.
And I'm sure you're looking for that too,
absolutely,
in how they handled themselves in such high pressure situations.
You know, with the tough weather conditions this morning, it was wet. You know, this is a second 2-a-day in a row. This is the 4th practice in 2 days. You want to see the kids that have the lift. You want to see the kids that still have the legs. You know, and as we spoke about earlier, the kids that inch to the back of the line, or do they scoot up to the front of the line like Cam Akers was doing to see who can get the reps. But it's a great way to see a lot of prospects all at once. It's a great event for us at Exos Digital, and we'll definitely be back next year.
Speaking of Cam Akers, and he's been the star of this latter half of our session. He's an East Bay Youth All-American, was the MVP of that game in San Antonio for the East 8th graders last year.
That's going to be a fun event for us too. We're going to head down there. Our Southeastern Scouts going to head down and take a look at some of those youth events. We had a big meeting with the FBU staff yesterday, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. Naples, Florida will be the site of the FBU National Championship, as well as the East Bay Youth All-American Bowls. And San Antonio will remain home for the top high school football all-star game in the land.
Yeah, that'll be a big event for us also, Neil. We're going to go down to the Combine, not only cover the game, but cover the Combine. In our meetings, we've actually created top performer list, Combine watch list kids of a couple hundred prospects that we're going to recommend to FBU and to here at Top Gun that are looking to get those infights. You know, so when you go to Top Gun, or excuse me, when you go to FBU events and you perform well, there's always an opportunity to go to another event. There's always an opportunity to play against better competition and get exposure.
Well, with it, some red zone kicking opportunities and the winding down of these 7-on-7s, which have been a joy to watch here over the weekend. And we're going to work our way into the closing ceremony. Such a vast amount of people to thank on our Exos Digital crew, and it starts with Rudy Ellis and Jeff Martin of Exos and their digital work, Bobby Brown of All-American Games, and Ben Carolyn. Our guests that have stopped by throughout, Joe Buffard, Eric Richards, Saylor and Rubio, the Chris's, they're kicking. Dan Thompson, Barton Simmons of 24/7, and yourself, sir, Vic Geiska. Great job all weekend long.
Thank you, Neil. I appreciate it. It was a blast.
Now looking forward to next week when we'll see the Youth All-Stars, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and we'll have coverage of that for you on Monday and Tuesday and throughout the early portion of the week. And Some are dispersing. We're doing another set of rotations. So we'll stay with you for the moment. And so with that, we'll wrap things up here from Jerome High School. I want to thank you for watching, and you can catch the streams live on 24/7 Sports and the replays as well. So for Geiska Crowley of Exos, this is Neil Sika from Dublin Jerome High School. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend as you've watched Top Gun 2014 from Football University.